Hey, Basket Brains, Kirby here, aka Darkwing Disc, and I am alongside Ollie DePina, and welcome to episode 7 of the K.O Disc Golf Show. This is episode 7, the Squirtle episode. Famous players to wear the number 7 would be Cristiano Ronaldo, Mickey Mantle, that freaking bum, John Elway, Barry Bonds, and Pudge Rodriguez. Ollie, one thing I kind of want to talk about real quick is Barry Bonds, because when I was growing up, before it was revealed that he was juicing so hard, he was the greatest hitter like we had ever seen. You know, the amount of home runs that he was hitting at such a historic pace was like unbelievable, and it's kind of crazy now to think how tainted his legacy is, like so far from that.
He's my GOAT. He's the greatest of all time, in my opinion. I will fall asleep to Barry Bonds home run compilations, just the crack of the bat. I don't care if it's
Okay.
juiced or not. He's my GOAT. So that's my opinion. I think
Okay.
we talked about in the B draft. I was talking about drafting him or something like that, but he's my GOAT.
Okay.
So
Nice. All right, we want to thank our sponsor real quick. Thank you to Bok Bok Fried Chicken. Appreciate all the support. Thank you to Brian O'Connor as well, owner of Bok Bok. Ollie, how was your week, man? How's it going?
good week. Got out to play Shelton for golf on Sunday, which was really nice. Course is looking amazing. Saw Jeff Corns there, kind of just looking at some different holes and checking out the course. And because I know the Cascade Challenge is coming up there, and that's this weekend, I believe.
Yep, this is coming up.
So that's exciting. Yeah, hopefully good weather there because it wouldn't. We were there when I was there. It was good weather and it was just amazing, fun to play. And then Monday morning, got to go play a little round with you at North Park, which was really fun. And y'all are gonna get to see that in the next couple of weeks. Um, but yeah, pretty chill week, just working at Bach and figuring out that, picking up the deliveries, and it's been fun.
Nice. Awesome, man. Yeah, my week was relatively chill as well. I played the North by Northwest, which was good. The most positive thing I can take away from that tournament is I was throwing pain free, which was awesome. I only throw a couple of forehands, and those did feel like kind of uncomfortable. Like we were talking about it yesterday. Like I threw one or two forehands, and I was just like, yeah, still doesn't feel great. But I was able to throw backhand completely and pain free, which is really awesome. I want to give a quick shout out to the winners, Isaac Strom. He played amazing golf. I was chasing him really hard during that second round. But he did exactly what he was supposed to do, and he didn't mess up. When it came down to that final stretch, he played the exact right golf, and he did the exact things that he was supposed to do. So I'm really excited for him. I was really happy to see him get his first MPO win. He's going to be traveling out to Europe really soon, and he's going to go and play in 3 of the silver events that they're having over in Europe. So when he gets back from Europe, we're going to try to bring him on the show and kind of talk with him a little bit about his experience and what that was like. So shout out to Isaac for winning MPO. Shout out to Ming Vang for winning MP40. Nick Greco for winning MA1. Lizzie Gibbon for winning FA1. Neil Vickers for winning MA40. Eddie Wren Jr. for winning MA50. My guy, Chuck Knudsen, for MA60. He comes out to like those Gold Park weeklies, and like when I tell you this guy has like the smoothest game, like he doesn't have a ton of distance, but he knows exactly where he's putting that disc like all the time. He's awesome.
That's super sweet. Smooth operator.
MA2, Evan Hayton. MA3, Josh Resnick. MA4, Robert Davis. So congratulations to all the winners. The weather all in all was okay. Saturday was not amazing because it kind of rained a little bit and was like a little gusty and windy. But Sunday was beautiful. Had a lot of great weather. The sun was out and shining for like 95% of the day, which is pretty awesome. I didn't even realize that I kind of got like a little sunburn like on my cheeks and my nose until yesterday when I was at the shop, and Brian was like, hey, like, you all right? You got a little sun? And I was like, did I don't know. And then I was like, I was like, maybe I did. How about it? So yeah, it was all in all though, really great weekend. This coming up weekend will be the Cascade Challenge, as Ollie kind of mentioned. So really looking forward to that. It's going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's mostly the blue pads with a couple of white pads kind of filtered in, which is really cool. couple of top names that we're going to see in that field are going to be Ezra Robinson, Aaron Gossage, Alden Harris, Scott Withers. Scott Withers is awesome. Jesse Niemanen, who just won a Pro Tour event. Can't take that away from him. Juna Heineman, Kevin Kiefer, Chandler Kramer, Evan Scott, Nicola Castro, Chandler Fry. So really looking forward to getting out there and seeing those guys come out and play. One of the names that I thought was pretty interesting is Ko Simmel, and he is from Tokyo, Japan, and he's 1,000 rated. So,
Okay.
Pretty interesting to see somebody come all the way over from Tokyo. So really love that.
Yeah, I might have to come maybe caddy or something for you if you're needing that.
Yeah.
Might have to come down. I don't think I have a tournament this weekend, and just those names you're naming, that's two AGL teammates, Scott Withers and Chandler Kramer, so that's pretty sweet. So be cool to go see them and hang out with you as well and help you with the bag and everything like that. Could be cool, maybe.
Yeah, come on down.
Yeah.
Getting ready though. It's going to be a really quick turnaround for me after Sunday of the Cascade Challenge. Monday morning, I'm going to drive down to Portland and start getting ready for Portland Open. And I'll be in Portland for 2 weeks straight, going into Portland Open and Beaver State Fling. So, yeah, the next 2 episodes, I'm not going to have this backdrop. I'll be doing it from my Airbnb. I'll bring all my equipment and stuff, and we'll keep the show going, which will be really cool, and try to film some content in that while I'm down in Portland. So,
yeah, that was one thing that Kirby talked to me about that I was really excited when he'd be going down and doing these things and kind of that dynamic. So really excited to get into that and excited to see Kirby down in Portland and stuff and kind of get more of our season started.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to try next Monday to play both courses in the same day. So when we do this Tuesday morning, I'm probably going to be sore and a little broken, but also have a lot of like on-course insight as to, what people could maybe expect and, what I saw on Monday. Because, I think on Monday you'll see pretty much all the pros like out there and coming into town and getting out for their practice rounds in the afternoon and that. So, moving right along into the OTB Open, that was also this past weekend. Calvin Heimberg took down his second straight Pro Tour wins because he played Vegas in the middle and didn't win. So it's not 2 straight wins, but 2 straight Pro Tour wins, right? So that's really cool. Calvin's one of the easiest people on the planet to root for when you're watching him disc golf. Also, quick shout out to Gavin Rathbun, who's unsponsored this year, going through just kind of doing it, which is absolutely amazing. And then some local love, Ella Hansen. Ollie, you want to get into FBO?
Yeah, Ella Hansen with the win, won by 7 strokes. So just like finally getting that win with like a huge lead, which is awesome to see. Saw her so close last year on a couple of tournaments. Kristin wasn't at this event. She had a broken rib, I believe, or something along those lines where she's going to be out for a little bit. But awesome to see Ella win. Kat Murch, Owen Scoggins up there in the top. Holland Hanley up there as well. Paige Pierce in the top 5, which was really cool to see and see her have a good performance. Overall, just like it looked like a really fun event. Ella Hansen, just watching her play here, I know she's at Gold Park around. She's at SeaTac. You can just catch her at a lot of local courses, and super fun to watch her. Like I remember there was one time she was at SeaTac, and I think just watching her drive out on I think it was hole 19 or something like that, getting it to like that where the A position is basically, and just having the easiest birdie, like up shot to birdie. Really cool to see those kind of things, and awesome tournament by her. So congrats to Ella Hansen.
Yeah, definitely. It's always great to see local players go out there and do something big like that. So getting right into Kristin Tatter. We're not going to see her in the Portland swing because she did break a rib. From what I heard is she just kind of did it just doing like a normal house project or something like that. So it is what it is. Those kinds of things happen. Hopefully she has a pretty quick recovery. I don't want to say that I did the side injury thing first, but I'm just saying it's kind of jumping on that train a little bit, like whatever. The other thing we should talk a little bit about is Kristin Tatar being 1,000 rated. She's the first female ever to be 1,000 rated. That's pretty amazing. There's that question: is she the best ever? And right now, she's kind of proving that she is. Like what she currently is doing, and when she's at her peak, she might be the best female player of all time. Um, to be totally honest, though, I am a little disappointed it wasn't Paige Pierce to do it. A few years ago, Paige Pierce was really at that, like 998, 999 mark. Like I don't know if those are exactly where she was, but she was right up there on the verge of 1,000, and there was that 1,000 watch with her for a little bit. And I really, at the time, was like, I really wanted her to be that first 1,000 rated female player because of all that she's already done for the game. And she's done so much at such an early age to then keep that going and just having another kind of feather in her cap. Thought would have been so amazing. It's amazing that Kristin has done it, and she's obviously amazing, but if I could have picked like one of the FPO players like out of like history, like for me personally, I would have picked Paige Pierce to be that first one to do it. So
yeah, that's real. And yeah, 100% feel that. I'm really happy that she did it, and I think it kind of goes back, like when you see one or like that first person cross the finish line, you start seeing the floodgate. And I think it's going to be great to see the future of that FBO and see how many more players do kind of get to pushing towards that 1,000 rated. And I forget the name. There's she was like 15 or 14 or something like that, but like watching like the development of the younger like generation is going to be really cool to see, and like see how inspiring they are to watch Kristin do this, and see how I feel like there's gonna be a lot of like women at that level of like 1,000 rated coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to like all sports kind of thing, where once you see that somebody does it and you see that it's possible, everybody then strives to put that mark and kind of push that envelope a little bit. Baseball is a classic example where you didn't know that somebody could throw 100 miles an hour until you saw somebody do it. And then you're like, okay, like what else can we do? Then you see somebody throw 104 and 105, and you start thinking to yourself like, okay, like maybe we can sit at, back in the day when they used to sit at 90 thinking that was like really hard, players today are sitting at 100, and that's, maybe in a few years that's soft,
Yeah.
like when you see that progression, it only raises the rest of the field around her. So that's amazing. So, yeah, honestly, just good for her all in all. So, all right, let's get right into the women's global events. Ollie, I do have Vanessa, while we're talking here, just sent me a video. So
sweet.
Yeah, I'll put that up on the back. But do you have a couple of the events you want to talk about real quick while I'm kind of bringing that up?
Yeah, I think it was just something. So I didn't really know what it was too much before going into this, but so I was kind of trying to look into what that would look like, or like what it looked like around the state of Washington. And so there's a few events that I found, and I talked to a couple of the ladies playing in that. We had the WGE Liberty for the ladies, and that was in Eastern Washington, and Sayananda was out at that. Had a good number. Honeybee Spring Open, which was in Bremerton, Washington, and that actually was, I believe, like the eighth, had the eighth most players out of any of the women's global event. And this women's global event was like the largest they've ever done, so really cool to be able to see something like that. And then we had the Bells of Burlington was just another one, and so seeing like multiple tournaments on these days, multiple opportunities for like a women's only event. I didn't go to any of the events, so I didn't have that experience, but talked to a couple people that did, and just didn't think there, like it just seems like it's awesome for them to have like a weekend where there's women competing all over the US and stuff like that, and be able to like see that kind of thing. But yeah, those are the main ones I found here, and definitely want to try to follow it and see what this keeps and grows to be.
Yeah. Okay, so I was listening to you. I'm sorry. While you were talking, I was trying to bring up this video from Vanessa, which technology is not my best friend. So, I have it on my phone, and I'm just gonna play it, and we're gonna listen to her talk. Does that sound all right? Yeah.
See how it sounds.
Yeah, we're trying all kinds of new stuff, seeing what's up. So, this is Vanessa Steffny. She is a professional FPO player. I think this is her first year playing FPO. She might have dabbled a little bit last year. We've talked about her a lot on the show. She's awesome. She played in one of the women's global events this past weekend, and she came in second to Allison Mabut. So here is her kind of talking about. I haven't seen this video. I have no idea what she's about to say. So I don't know. Maybe we'll cut some of this or whatnot. Like, we'll see. All right, here is Vanessa.
Hey guys, hey Kirby, Ollie over here at K.O Disc Golf Show. Thanks for having me on today. Kirby, thanks for reaching out and having me kind of speak on behalf of parts of women's disc golf. My name is Vanessa Steffny. I'm one of the FPOs who plays locally here in the Seattle area, and Kirby and I had kind of chatted, and he had invited me on to K.O Disc Golf to speak on behalf of part of women's involvement in the sport. I'm going to start out first and foremost by saying that I'm one of many voices within the field of women's involvement in disc golf, and want to acknowledge from the beginning that in many ways there's so many other ladies who have much more to say here than even me. In many ways, I'm very new to the sport. A little bit about myself: I started. This is only my second season of playing competitively within the disc golf field. I started out last year as an amateur and moved up to FPO this season. There's so much I'm learning as I'm growing. Ooh, what do I say? I first and foremost want to acknowledge just the importance of supporting women's sports, not just in disc golf, but sport as a whole. We fought so hard to receive any kind of recognition within sports, and it's exciting to see women's sports as a whole, but in this case as it pertains to disc golf, to see how much the field has grown. We just had the women's global event over the weekend, and it was exciting to see how many people showed up. I want to say it was like 3,470 or so participants internationally that were all a part of the women's global event. And for us locally here, it was the Honeybee Spring Open that we had at Bremerton Disc Golf Course. For me, first time out at NAD Disc Golf Park is a stellar course, super fun, very wooded, technical course, many tight lines. You got to see the shots, you got to trust your discs, you got to trust your know-how, your skills in order to also shoot some of those lines to get the results that you're looking for. For any of you who know me, my home course is South Fork out in North Bend, and as most of you know, it's a pretty bomber course. Don't get me wrong, I love hucking a disc. I love seeing how far it goes, seeing what I can achieve from a distance perspective, and also as I've grown as a player, have come to love and really appreciate some of these more technical courses where you are forced to see a line, shoot pure, trust your disc, trust what you're able to do, and chill up and do what you can do in order to get those birdies, those pars, scramble to also save some pars, get birdies, sometimes even save the bogey. For most of you who play wooded golf, you know what I mean. When we sometimes hit a tree, get an gnarly kick out, and all of a sudden we're forced to kind of scramble to get something. A lot of that was definitely seen here at the Honeybee Spring Open. For any of you who've played NAD, you know it's definitely pretty tight and technical course. Ooh, where do I start? As I already said earlier, I'm one of many women who play, and so I guess I'm only going to speak to my experience. First and foremost, I want to say it's absolutely exciting to see the involvement and the continuous growth of women within the sport, not just disc golf, but women's sports as a whole. We hear huge shout out, of course, to the Evergreen Women's Series, who continuously supports women's involvement in the sport locally in the Seattle area. Without you, we would not have nearly as many opportunities to invite many different women from various different divisions, many different ages, as well as skills, to participate in an event and create an environment in which we also foster growth. I think at this tournament we had anything from FP60 Janice Jones shooting neg 1 overall. She's one of the OGs in the area and has paved the path for many of us to participate in some of these events. We also had many FJs. I think I had FJ6 Nevaeh Howard, FJ10 Maya Howard, FJ12 Sasha McCurdy, who showed up, and I think it's great to also see some of the younger ladies come in and show what they've got. As a native German, soccer's life, and don't get me wrong, I remember being a little one hoping that I could also achieve it big in a sport, and so for me personally, it's really important to not just support some of the OGs, any other division, but also really create an environment for the little ones to come out and show what they've got, and continuously to create an environment in which we support each other to grow. I have received nothing but support from many of the ladies that I play with, whether it's amateur divisions, now the pro division that I play with. It's amazing to see people constantly reminding each other, hey, good shot, good drive, good upshot, it was a beautiful putt. And so it's been really exciting not only to receive that support from a lot of these ladies, but also continuously to push that forward and to continue to support each other in growing. I play with a lot of guys, love playing with the guys. There's a lot of things that I learn from them, as well as from a lot of the ladies who I play with. It's been really cool to grow as a player and continue to see where the sport will go. Most of my off season goes into working on the things that I'm not good at. Humility is a huge part in any part of athleticism. In this case, as it pertains to disc golf, learning what are the things that I'm not good at and working on those things in the off season in order to become a more well-rounded player. Also noticing your play style. How do you approach the game? How do you see the course? What are the lines that you're comfortable playing? What are the things that you can also sometimes push yourself to improve on, right? And if it weren't for some of the ladies that I've been able to play with, as well as some of the guys, I don't know. I think it's really important to learn something from everybody you play with. At the Women's Global event that took place here over the weekend, it was exciting to see not only elites, right? Ella Hansen, one of our Seattle natives, actually finally take home, if I'm not mistaken, her first Elite Series win in the DGPT OTB at Stockton. Obviously, I think it's important to name some big players like Kristin, Tatter, Paige Pierce, so many other ladies that are a huge inspiration to a lot of us. It's cool to see. It's cool to have people to look up to and continuously want to grow as a player. I also want to, of course, give some shout outs to some of my ECD teammates, Sophia Donek, who also played the OTB in Stockton, ended up tying for 14th. I haven't had the privilege of meeting her in person, and I'm looking forward at some point maybe to actually meet her, but I was really excited to see her going out there and crushing it. Of course, at the Honeybee Open, huge shout out to Allison Abbott. Her and I had shot the hot round for the Honey Spring Open. In the first round, we shot neg 5, I think it was a 900 something rated round. And the two of us were jokingly going into the second round and talking about what can we improve. And I said to her, you need to let me know what I need to improve on. And she jokingly said back, first did you know when we're done with the second round? And I think it's great, a certain amount of healthy athleticism to also, do her thing and kind of hold her own, right? And she ended up beating me by 2 strokes. And it's really exciting to play with her, to learn from her, and learn the things that we can all improve on. Also shout out to my ECD teammate, Candace Kennedy, who shot the hot round in the second round, +2. We had an alternative layout for the FPO, FP40, FA1, and FA40, where we shot the longer course, a little bit more of a technical course in the second round, and shooting +2 is stellar. So nice job, Candace. Of course, Elena Evinsky from Boss Squad, one of our former teammates, I still consider a teammate, also showed up and played +3 in the second round, so nice job out there. Somebody else who comes to my mind is Naomi Suet. I've played with her. She wasn't a part of this tournament, but I played with her in the past. She's also a Box Squad teammate, and I played with her at that South Fork Open. It was really, really cool to see what she's got. The future of disc golf is bright. Yeah, there's so many other people I could name here. So many people I'm probably not even naming here that deserve to be named. But I think the biggest thing that I just really want to leave is keep taking space, ladies. Keep pushing your limits. Keep seeing what you got. Don't ever let anybody push you out of this place. You deserve a spot here, and know your worth. Keep working on the things that you can improve. Continuously be humble. Continue to support each other. I think it's a really important piece of supporting women's involvement in sport. Of course, I want to do a huge shout out to you both here at K.O Disc Golf, giving me a moment to also speak on behalf of women's involvement in the sport. Brian and Kirby at Emerald City Discs, who are also my sponsor, you both have been nothing but supportive in pushing my limits, supporting me in becoming the person, the player who I am today, and always, always letting me know that you both have my back. There's a lot that I've learned, a lot that I'm still learning, but I think the biggest thing that I really want to leave here is just saying how important it is for us to continue to foster that growth, not just for our youth, but any of the ladies who show up to these tournaments, who I've had the privilege of playing with. There's so much I'm sure I could still say here, but I think I'm going to kind of leave it with, just the excitement that I feel of being a part of the sport. I wish I would have found it a little bit sooner even. Who knows where I could have been, but there are always opportunities, always a place where you can start, and the sky's the limit, so to speak, right? So, yeah, thanks guys for having me on here. It's really a privilege to be able to speak on parts of this, and I look forward to continuing to chat with you guys maybe in the future. Who knows, maybe I'll come out at some point and play around against you guys, see how we can crush against the boys, not just the ladies. But for now, thanks for having me on, and I look forward to chatting with you guys in the future. Thanks, guys.
That was awesome.
All right, sweet. I hope maybe I'll be able to. Did she just text you that?
Yeah.
I might be able to insert it just straight into that and like maybe mute what we have and then put that in, but we'll see what we can do with that. But that was really, really awesome to hear, and definitely like awesome perspective. Really kind of like made me be like, oh wow, I am not articulate at all with how I speak. She's killing it. I was like,
okay, so going forward, we got to be careful about who we bring on, because they're right, like they're better at this than we are. Oh shit, you know. Like, Vanessa, thank you so much though. I appreciate all the kind words. I appreciate you doing that for us. We were talking about how we wanted to talk about these women's global events, but I thought it made more sense to come from a woman's voice, not from ours. So if you like stuff like that, let us know. We'll bring her on more and more. Bring her on like regularly and do stuff like that if we can. I love that stuff. So yeah, just thank you so much to Vanessa, and shout out to all the women who participated in those women's global events.
Yeah, that was awesome.
All right, moving right along, we're going to get into our YouTube and Instagram chat. We're going to kind of do this every week, and we're going to kind of just go through the comment sections and kind of talk about what people posted in there. I just want to preface this by saying I love discussion. Whether you agree with me, whether you disagree with me, I love to talk about it. I want to hear your opinion of it, because maybe you're going to say something that I didn't think of and actually change my mind. I'm very open to all of that. So I love some of these comments. There's a comment here about flight numbers that I'm going to love kind of getting into a little bit. Just kind of going from the top here. Well, before we get into it, Ollie, do you have anything to add or anything to bring in?
I was gonna just quickly, like, this is gonna be like really quick. We missed it out on it last week, but the Deception Pass Open was last week. Mikey Behringer won MPO, one of the ECD teammates, and Lucas Lotto ran the event. I heard nothing but great things, and it was also Collin Knight's first win, got the MA2 dub, and so I just wanted to shout him out real quick. And that was last week up in Oak Harbor. Before we move on to that.
Yeah, nice job, Mikey. Lucas runs some really great events. I really like playing with Lucas. It's always a good time. He's good people for sure. And Collin Knight, dude, is like got to be the chillest dude in the world. Like he's got that little smile on his face. He's like, "What's up, bro?" So, all right, getting right into our comment section here. CH Sports. This is Colin Hayden from down in Oregon. I know this guy. He has a great YouTube channel. Go and check him out if you're looking for some like local disc golf content. I know I've been on his channel in the past doing a tournament down at Delphi and stuff. So his comment is, "Thanks for the shout out, Kirby. Miss you, dude. My question for next week is from a dude that plays pretty much only Oregon tournaments. Give us your current top 5 to 10 players in Washington so I can learn some of the names. Thanks for the show, fellas. Keep growing the game." So thank you for the comment. I would say If I'm looking at the top like 5 to 10 players in the area, you gotta say Carter Aarons, you gotta say Axel Olsen, you gotta say Colin Bryant. I would say the 3 of those are kind of like the young up and coming kids that are all really, really good. Isaac Strom, you know, he might not be like highly rated, but I would say Isaac's a great player who's got all the skills, he's got all the shots in that. He's really, really great. It's easy to say names like Kenny Clark and Kyle Crabtree, but I think those guys have kind of moved into the MP40 region more than MPO, but you'll kind of still see them kind of dancing around, kind of MPO here and there kind of thing. Ollie, do you have any, those are just the names like right off the top of my head. Like, Ollie, you got any names you want to add?
Yeah, that's like probably like the top dogs, I'd say, real, like definitely the ones that come to your head. I like another up in, like the Lil Mateo comes to my head. He can pop off and have some like really big days, and he's one of those younger guys. Yeah, easy to say. Guys like you, I like to always throw you in. I think if you're ever in the tournament, I'm like, that's my dog. That's my horse in the race, you know. So
Yeah. I mean, Mikey Behringer's another really good one. He's lefty, so he's got kind of like a game that you don't. He's got a really weird game more than anything else. He throws a ton of hyzer. He's a lefty that doesn't throw forehands. He just throws hyzer flips all the time. And he's so good at them. Yeah, those are kind of a quick batch of names that I would say definitely like watch out for. But there's so much top end talent out here, and there's so many guys that could just pop off for the weekend and absolutely light it up. So those are kind of the quick few names I would say. This is one from Silver Fox Disc Golf. This is my buddy Toby. Love this new job, new discs. Ollie's living the dream. That's awesome. Yeah.
yeah.
Another guy said, let's go. Another episode. Love hearing these while driving to my job. It's really great as it takes 48 minutes to get to my job. Good, because we were just talking about how that hour 5 last week or hour 8 the week before was a little too long. So we're trying to keep it around the 40-minute mark, which we got to kind of move a little bit here. This is the comment that I really wanted to get in. Well, I'm going to bring up this one and then kind of get into the comment I really wanted to talk about. This one is from Roxy Allah. Is it just me, or is Ollie's light hitting nice? And it is hitting nice. Looking good, my dude.
Thank you. Thank you, Roxy.
All right, so Q stands for rational. He says, I'm loving your content, and the chapters / timestamps are a great improvement. That's all Ollie. Nice job on that part. That was all him. Ollie peek behind the curtain. Ollie does all the stuff for our podcast show. He does all the editing and that. And then I do the editing for like our challenge videos and stuff like that. So those are the people you can blame for if you don't think or not, or if there's improvements, that's the person. So getting into the rest of his comment, I know flight numbers are a controversial topic, but I wanted to chime in with my take for what it's worth. As a newish player, they were described to me slightly differently. Speed equals how aerodynamic the disc is, describing the line between high speed and low speed for that disc. Turn equals high speed stability, or how the disc behaves when flying at or above the desired speed. Fade equals low speed stability, or how the disc behaves while flying more slowly. And glide equals lift generated by the disc. While I understand your points as well as the shortcomings of this system, I think all 4 numbers are very useful when determining how a disc will likely fly, with obvious variations based on plastic, weight, wear, run, etc. Specifically, I think glide is useful and interesting. I don't necessarily think of it as keeping the disc in the air longer, even though that may be the case at times. But more so, how much the disc will travel horizontally when it isn't perfectly flat. The example you gave with the Berg is perfect. We all know that the Berg flies much differently than a glitch. One of the great things about the Berg, in my opinion, is as it starts to fade, it tends to drop rather than carry to the side. It's also easy to see how this could correlate with how much the wind is able to affect the flight of the disc, which I've often heard associated with glide. Anyways, thanks for another great episode. I'm already looking forward to the next one. These are the kind of comments I love. This is like, it was really well thought out. It was really like, he gave his opinion absolutely perfectly, and he's not wrong about any of it. And that's kind of the thing, kind of going back to my original point about flight numbers, is there's so many variations of what they truly mean, and what company is kind of using them to mean this and what company is kind of using them to mean that kind of thing. What I think is the core to flight numbers, or the core to fix the flight numbers, is to have a universal system, whether that's the PDGA or whether that's a third party that takes the discs, will then test them in whatever way they want to test them, whether it's a wind tunnel, whether it's people throwing them, whether it's a computer generated arm.
I like the robot. There's a couple that I've seen, like catapults, where it's like you could just mimic like RPMs and different things like that, where I'm like, that in my head is like how I see that working.
Yeah. I think that would be amazing. And if you could test like, oh, this disc is going to travel X amount of feet left and then right, and you could track that in some kind of like enclosed space or something like that, I think that would be the perfect way to give flight numbers. And then if it is kind of universal like that, I really don't care what like you use as flight numbers, because at that point they're all accurate. You know what I mean? And at that point, if you tell me that this disc does glide more than this disc does, and you have like the third party or whatever, to test that and tell you like, oh yeah, at the same speed and RPMs, this one will go an extra 20, 30 feet. Like I think that's a big deal. So,
yeah.
All right, moving right along into our baseball check-in. I'm going to do this real quick. Red Sox are at 500 on the dot after, I think, winning last night. Only a half game out of the wild card, but this is not a team that I look at and I think, yeah, we're going to make a World Series run. Yeah, we can make like a deep run in the playoffs. Like, we have good pitching, but the hitting is just so weak that it can't make up for the runs that we're preventing. So it's tough, but I think when we get into the trade deadline, there are some solid pieces that the Red Sox probably could sell off and get some decent prospects and start looking at next year. Tyler O'Neill's been above average to really good at times this season. I think he could probably bring you back like a solid prospect. Rob Refsnyder. We got this kind of like Dom Smith and Cooper kind of combo thing. I'm gonna say at this point, just trade them both and give it to like a young bat and give him some time to play and see what you got with a guy who maybe like a 4A style player. And we got this catcher, Reese McGuire, who was supposed to be our starting catcher, but now that Connor Wong is doing so good, Reese McGuire is kind of falling into that backup catcher slot. And I would say just trade him away, see if we can get like a younger catcher that's going to be with us long term, because Connor Wong kind of seems like he's going to be our guy going forward. Moving into the Mariners, they're still in first place. That's really cool. I think by 2 games, which is awesome.
Most improbable win yesterday.
Was it? What happened?
Oh, we were just down, really, like we were down, and then it was like a crazy comeback. You should actually go look it up, but it was like we started coming back. I think it was like Ty France in the 9th, and like we were down like 1-4, I want to say, up until like the 8th or the 9th, and then we ended up winning 5-4 and got the win over the Yanks for the first. We snagged the first win of the series, so that's always fun.
Nice, yeah. 5-4, yeah. Nice.
So that was a good win after some like up and down play the last series. So starting this series off good, and but yeah, it was a fun game to listen to.
Yeah, you scored 4 in the 9th. That's amazing. Awesome. Yeah, so I was kind of looking at some stats. George Kirby has 5 walks in 10 games. That's like Greg Maddux style pitching. That's absolutely amazing. And kind of like one of the stats that I don't think really matters, but is kind of fun to look at. I like looking at run differential. The Mariners have a +2 run differential, which means that they've scored 2 more runs than they've given up. If you look at the Diamondbacks have a -3 run differential, which means that they have allowed 3 more runs than they have earned, kind of thing. But when you think about that, those two, like the Mariners and the Diamondbacks, are both pretty close to almost dead even when you think about it. The Mariners have 4 more wins than the Diamondbacks do. It almost seems like 4 kind of like lucky style wins, right? Pretty interesting. Yeah. I like looking at stuff like that. So, yeah. Okay, so before we do our letter draft this week, we are going to do the D draft. I just kind of want to talk a little bit about just this thing that I saw and I told Ollie about. We are on episode 7, as we've mentioned. one of the things that I've seen online is that 80% of podcasts don't make it past episode 7. So when we officially come in next week, Ollie, you and I will be in the top 20% of podcasts in the world. So
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It is, it just feels really natural. It's been a really fun outlet. So it's like, I mean, I'm not going to stop. I mean, this isn't the last episode, so no worries about that.
We're cruising, honestly, and it hasn't, it's been fun to do. It's been easy to do, which is awesome. You've been super fun and great to do this with. So, but to kind of elaborate on that a little bit, of the remaining 10%, 90% don't make it to episode 20. So if we make it to episode 21, we'll be in the top 1% of podcast producers, like, in the world. So
that's pretty sweet.
All right, like, let's do it. That'll be off season. Episodes might get kind of silly at that point, but
off season. I'm ready. I was thinking about that. Those off season episodes we were talking about a little earlier too, but it'll be fun. We'll be having some good things planned and content coming out with videos and some interviews rolling out. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, they're going to get weird, but they'll be fun nonetheless. So, all right. So getting right into our D draft for this week. Ollie did win the first wants it, which, he should have won. His list was so much better. The one person that voted for me, you were wrong. I'm sorry. And that was probably my wife, because no matter what, she's going to support me. But also, my list was not better than your list was last week. So... Ollie, you taking the number 1 pick?
Yeah.
All right. What are you picking?
We're going to go with dogs. I am a big dog lover. Yeah. I have my dog, Matilda. Mm-hmm. I had I grew up with a dog named Mochi, Golden Labradoodle and Labrapoodle, and I love dogs, yeah. Big dog guy.
Mochi's a really good name for a dog.
Yeah, she was big, white, and fluffy, and that was Mochi.
Nice. Okay, so I have the number 2 and the number 3 pick. I'm going to pick, for the number 2 pick, I'm going to pick donuts.
Oh, I had that on there.
I love donuts, man. Good donut. There's a place up by me called Donuts, and you're in North Seattle, and they're open because they don't open for breakfast. They open at like noon, and then they close at like 10 o'clock at night or something like that. They're amazing. Their donuts are like just above anything else. So good.
What's your go-to donut?
This is kind of a weird one. I like a peanut donut. So back in like Western New York and like Niagara Falls area, they do this donut. Well, they'll take just like a log and they'll put it like in like a regular glaze, and then they take like chopped peanuts and they just kind of like roll it in that. So it's just covered in like peanuts, and it's really good. And Aurora Donuts does like a maple peanut bar or a maple peanut donut where they do like just a round, and then they put like a little layer of like the maple frosting on it, and then they dip it in peanuts, and it's really, really good. And I'll go there certain nights, and there's this like old woman who works there. We don't know her name. We just call her Auntie, and I'll buy her out of all of her maple peanut donuts, and then she always like throws in a couple extra ones for me to try in there. But so Aurora Donuts, the place is super legit.
I'm a bacon maple bar guy myself.
Bacon
maple bars.
Heavy. That's so heavy, dude. That's like a whole meal, man. Nice. Make sure that's still plugged in. Okay. All right. So for the number 3 pick, I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick discs.
Oh, how's that?
We wouldn't even be doing. Wasn't for discs. Like, we wouldn't be here chatting, you wouldn't be here listening if it wasn't for discs. So I
wouldn't even have met you if we didn't have discs,
bro. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's real.
Disc is life.
Okay, so that's gonna bring me to my second pick. The 4th pick, we're gonna go with a staple of Seattle, Dick's Drive-In. I think it's I'm just such a fan. Some people out of town think it's overhyped. You can't beat it for the late night, the price, everything that it is. It's not supposed to be, the best burger in the sense of like the biggest and the most like that.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is, and I love it for that. So Dick's Drive-In got a special place in my heart.
That was weirdly my first meal in Seattle. Like when I landed, person who picked us up from the airport and like was taking us to our like at the place we were staying at the time. And like very like my old roommate and I landed in Seattle. We don't know anybody, and this person's like, yeah, like I'll take you. We'll go get lunch. We'll go to Seattle Staple, and we went to Dick's, and we were like, what is this? We're like, what? Like, where are we? You know. But that was my first meal in Seattle. Was Dick's Drive-In. So that's so funny.
That's sweet. And then for my next pick, I'm gonna go. This is where I think I have Lucas in the back of my head telling me what is like you're missing some big ones here, but we're gonna go with daggers in the sense of like game-winning shots. You know, like the dagger, the clenching shot. You know, something like that. I like that. I'm big into big sports moments, so the daggers and sports moments and stuff like that. I think of
final shot kind of thing.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Interesting. I got 6 and 7 here. All right, so I'm gonna pick dinosaurs. You know, as a kid, we all go through a phase where we just are like super into dinosaurs, like Jurassic Park. Those movies have always slapped. So I'm picking dinosaurs for the 7th pick, and then drinks for the 7th. Yeah,
oh, drinks. That's a great one.
Yeah, it's. I have 2 drinks sitting here. I have a coffee and I have a Celsius. I always have. Yeah, like that's just such a common thing everybody has around all the time. So, drinks as my. So my list is going to be donuts, discs, dinosaurs, and drinks. I kind of love my.
I think the dagger's going to hit home with a few people. You know,
You said daggers, and I was like, the fuck.
You had like little.
Oh no! So the first thing I thought of was Power Rangers, the Dragon Dagger. I was like, see, had you said Dragon Dagger, I would have been like, fuck, man.
Well, that takes me into my last one. It is going to be dragons, and you know, whether that's How to Train Your Dragon, the movie, you know, mythical dragons pull up, you know. It's a great pull. And when I heard you do dinosaurs, I was like, oh, I got the mythical, you know, but you know, I'm happy with that. Yeah. I'm excited. You know, it's like honestly a weekly thing. And once I upload it, I just wait for Lucas's comment to see what I missed. So I honestly am looking forward to that comment. Everyone should go look at that comment because it's honestly where you're going to find the better pick. I thought I had a really good list. And then when he pulled out garlic fries for last week, I was like,
oh, yeah, he made us all look so stupid. I was this guy, like, Lucas is kind of like he's like the draft king. He kind of
he's kind of our draft guy. So maybe one of our draft things we'll bring him in to maybe like we'll try. Me and Kirby will put a list together to try to go against him or something like that. Dude, or we'll have some ideas or something.
It would be funny to draft stuff and have him sitting next to us, just going wrong, you know, and we're like, oh shit.
But pick should have been.
Yeah, right. Other stuff that I had on my list that I never brought in was dinner. I like deals, like when you go to
deals,
or you get like a really like one of the most satisfying things is to go to Safeway and to scan your Safeway card last, and then watch your total just like ta and drop with all the savings. Like that's so satisfying. I also had driving because I do enjoy like a nice drive with like some like killer music on a nice day when you got like, you know, the windows rolled down and that.
I drive all the time. I love driving. It's like one of my favorite things.
So great. I had dependability because dependability is amazing. I had dill because I love the herb dill.
Dill pickle, yeah.
I had dessert on my list, and then I had diva on my list only because Vanessa yesterday called me a diva, so it's kind of like fresh in my mind.
I got called a diva on Sunday, so that's pretty funny. I swear to so much of divas.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, I got our list. We'll see who wins this one. See what Lucas's list is.
Yeah. So go over to our YouTube channel. Go to the community tab and vote for who you think won this week's D-Draft in the poll there. And whoever wins will have the ability to get first pick next week with whatever draft we decide to do.
Short quote, this is just in relevance with the NBA playoffs, and my boy Anthony Edwards took down the Denver Nuggets in Game 7. And there's a quote, a reporter asked him something about how they have Kevin Durant, and he goes, "We got Jaden McDaniels." Been in my head all week, so we got Jaden McDaniels.
Okay.
So
Our quote of the week: we got Jake McDaniels. All right, thank you so much. Appreciate you tuning in.
thanks, y'all. See you.
See you next week.